The objective of this lesson is to factor a polynomial by grouping the terms. Factor this polynomial. The first thing we look at to factor, we look how many terms are there. Here we have 4 terms. So the best factoring method is by grouping, if we can do 2 groups here. So why don't we take 2uv plus 6u as a group here, like this, and the 5v plus 15, this is another group. And from each group, I can take a common factor between 2uv and 6u. How do we take a common factor between 2 and 6 first? We know that the greatest common factor between 2 and 6 is 2, so we will take 2. And you have uv on the first term and u on the second term, so we're going to take u because it is repeated in both terms. Then you open a bracket and take what remains from after you take out the 2u from each term. So you divide 2uv over 2u. What remains here is v plus 6u over 2u. You have taken the u already and you have taken 2 out of the 6. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. This is for the first bracket. Now for the second bracket here, 5v plus 15. Of course, we have the greatest common factor between 5 and 15 is positive 5. Okay, and you have v here and you don't have v on the second term, so we're not going to take any v's outside. So this will be only the common factor 5. And what remains inside is you will divide 5v over 5 to get v inside here, and plus 15 divided by 5 is 3. Now look at these two brackets, v plus 3 and v plus 3. It is repeated on both terms. So v plus 3 now is a common term or common factor between the two terms. And what remains inside here from the first term, we have or we had 2u multiplied by v plus 3. So we'll write 2u and plus on the second term we have 5 multiplied by v plus 3. So I will write also 5. So the answer will be v plus 3 times 2u plus 5. These are the two factors of this polynomial of 4 terms. Now let's look at this example. Factor 21m minus 3mp plus 4p minus 28. Again, we can take the first two terms as a group and the second two terms as a group. Let us see if this works. If it doesn't, we can take any other two groups. So from 21m and 3mp, we have a common factor between 21 and 3. The greatest common factor is 3. And between m and mp, it is m. This will be outside the bracket. And inside the bracket, I will divide 21m divided by 3m. This will be 7, just a 7. Minus 3 divided 3, it's okay, there is no numbers, no m's, and it's only p that remains. This is for the first group. For the second group, I will take a common factor between 4 and 28. It will be 4, and what remains here inside will be p minus 7. Now look at these two terms now. Look at these two terms. We have 3m times 7 minus p and 4 times p minus 7. Is there any common factor between them? No, there is not. Like this. In its shape like this, it has no common factor. But we can change the form of 7 minus p to be p minus 7. Or we can change p minus 7 to be 7 minus p. Because we know that the inverse or the additive inverse of 7 is negative 7. And the negative inverse or the additive inverse, sorry, of p is negative p. So if you have already p minus 7, which is in the second term here, p minus 7, what will be its additive inverse? I'm going to put here negative p plus 7, which is 7 minus p. Okay, how do we change it? Because we must not change it, but we can take it like this. I will write here 3m times 7 minus p as it is, and plus 4. Okay, now p minus 7, we know it can be negative 1 multiplied by 7 minus p. Now let us look here if I'm correct or not. If you multiply negative 1 times 7, it will be negative 7. And if you multiply negative 1 times negative p, it will be positive p, which is p minus 7. This is the original. So here I did not change it. I did not change the term, but I changed the way I wrote it by taking a negative 1 as a common factor between them. Now, the last step is just simplify. So 3m times 7 minus p, and 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. And again, we have 7 minus p. Now, here we have 7 minus p is common between the two terms. So I will take it as common factor. And what remains from the first term is 3m. And what remains from the second term is negative 4. So this will be the final answer for this factoring problem. I hope this video was useful. If you like it, please press like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. So, to the next video. Bye.